It's time for Recipe of the Day. You know how enchiladas made with soft corn tortillas end up having that texture of like soft cornmeal, almost like what you get in a tamale? I mean, the edges of the tortillas often crisp up if they're poking out, but the ones that are like submerged in the sauce and the cheese and everything, they get just really, really soft and lovely. That is what I was aiming for with this very easy ground beef casserole. I particularly love to make this when I have leftover cooked ground beef because then it is ridiculously quick to do. But I will assume you do not have that, and we will start by cooking the ground beef. First, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to coat a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, like a cake pan, with some nonstick cooking spray, or just like oil it with some olive oil. Set that aside. Okay, and then you're going to get out a large skillet, and if you'd like, you can add some oil to the skillet, a tablespoon. I am saying here that the oil is optional because on one of my YouTube videos, it's for the ground beef and rice skillet, I put a little bit of oil in the ground beef, and a lot of the comments are just appalled that I would use oil to cook ground beef because beef has its own fat in it. I just always do it this way. I find it browns really well. I use lean ground beef quite often. It doesn't have that much fat. Anyways, does not matter. If you want to put oil, put oil. If you don't usually put oil when you're cooking ground beef, don't put oil. So you are getting out your large skillet. You are maybe putting oil in it, and then you are heating that over medium heat. And then you're adding, it says 1¼ pounds of ground beef. That's just because that's how the ground beef is usually sold at my store. It's like 1.3 pounds or something. Anywhere between 1 and 1.5 is going to be just fine. And then you just spread that out and let it cook for 4 minutes to kind of caramelize underneath. And then you can start stirring it until the meat is cooked through about 3 minutes. Then you're adding in 2 cups of salsa, or you can use Rotel. There is a comment on this recipe on Cook the Story saying that the person loves it with Rotel. So I haven't tested it, but it seems that that works. And so you're adding in the 2 cups of that, and then you bring it up to a simmer and then reduce the heat down and just stir it and cook until the liquid is kind of reduced by half. We do want some of that sauciness because that's what's going to soften those tortilla chips, right? I know I haven't gotten to the tortilla chips yet, but that is what's going to be happening soon. Before that though, to your ground beef and salsa mixture, you're adding a 16-ounce can of beans that you've drained, and that can be anything: pinto, black beans, kidney beans, white kidney beans, those cannellini beans, I think they're called. I wouldn't do like garbanzo chickpeas. It just doesn't feel very like Tex-Mex Mexican, but I mean, totally would be delicious. So you could totally do that. So you're adding the can of drained beans, and then you're just cooking and stirring until they're kind of warmed through, although it doesn't even really matter because everything is going in the oven soon anyhow. Okay, then comes those tortilla chips. You want 4 cups of them, and then you crush them. So measure them first and then crush them, like kind of crush, not like little fragments. And then those go into your prepared baking dish, and then you spoon this saucy salsa ground beef mixture over top of that, and then you sprinkle 1.5 cups of shredded Mexican cheese blend, or whatever kind of melty shredded cheese you have, on top of that, and that goes into the oven just until the cheese has melted and those tortillas on the bottom have softened a little bit from that sauce. It's like 10 to 15 minutes. While that is in the oven, you can be getting some toppings ready. If you want to add toppings to this, I often do. So it'll be like some sour cream, some sliced green onions, chopped up tomatoes, maybe some guacamole or chopped avocado, more salsa, more tortilla chips. Cilantro would be great. Olives are good. My kids love those sliced black olives, so sometimes I just put out a little container of those and they can add them. Any of those things you can put out, and then when you scoop this onto your dinner plates, then everybody can add their little toppings as they go, and you get that kind of soft tortilla chip, kind of like a soft enchilada wrapper, and the almost like a chili-like beef and salsa mixture, the cheese, and then those bright fresh toppings on top. So good. I will put the link to this this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. I'll just let you know that everything there is arranged by date. So you are looking for the episode from February 19th of 2024. You can also get the link to this recipe in our Facebook group. I post the recipe there every single day, 7 days a week, and it's just a great place to see what is new and to get the link and ask any questions, comments if you make it. That group is at facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast recipe of the day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.